am I? Hi, Vesta. I am trying to find, me on the computer. Hi, Karen. For some reason, I am on the Chirpy page, aren't I? Hi, Carol. I wonder why I can't find me. Ah! How am I supposed to follow along? Let's refresh it again. Hi, Zena. Okay, so I am on the Chirpy page. I am not showing up under live. Huh. Well, we're just gonna chat, and hi Karen, I am gonna go back out of Facebook and go back into the Chirpy Card Maker. Hi, Sharon. This will be a bummer if I can't see myself live, because then once I flip the camera around, I won't be able to keep up with anybody. Well, now, isn't this interesting? Hi, Paula. Hi, Pat. Wow. What did Facebook do to me? Hi, Michaeline. How are you? Hi, Della. Oh, I'm getting to be so sad here that, you know what? I'm just going to get all the way out of Facebook. I'm going to refresh the computer, restart it, and then see what happens. Let me flip the camera around so I can at least... Hi, everybody. Okay, I got to do one more flip. There we go. How was everybody this morning? It is brisk and windy in Toledo, Ohio this morning. I hope the weather is good wherever you are at. So if you're just popping on, I went to check the computer to find the live so that I can follow comments on the laptop once I flip the camera down and we go to our project. And usually it'll pop right up. I can see that I am live. But for whatever reason, I can't find it. And so I just rebooted the laptop, and we're going to see if that doesn't help with what I'm trying to do here. So, okay, now I see that I'm live. So let me just, I'm excited now because I did see it when I went. Well, let's put it this way. When I go back home, it showed that I was live. So let me go in that way. Maybe Facebook has changed the way things are done. Oh, I don't want to go that big because now I can't see the comments. And I can't see any comments. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, let me click there. Okay. It looks like I'm just going to have to go about it a different way. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm sorry if I won't see everything in time. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Kathy. It looks like there's kind of like a new layout or something here. So we're just we'll go with it, because once I turn the camera down, you're going to be seeing the project anyway. So good morning again, everybody. If you're new, my name is Julie Heights. I am the Chirpy Card Maker of Quilts and More, and I live in Toledo, Ohio. So welcome. Today's the first day of fall. How many people favor fall over the other seasons? It's my favorite season. I love dressing warm. I like hoodies and You know, I love the smell of fall. I just love everything about it. And so it's my favorite time of the season. So, Pat says it's fall there. We were told on the news that for the next month, we will be in our peak fall color change. So that'll be exciting. We love to take drives and just see all the colors changing. So that's something to look forward to. Today in the Stampin' Up! World, there are new products that are discounted, and you can find them on the Chirpy Card Maker page. There's ribbons and embellishments, some specialty papers, things like that that are discounted for the next week. So be sure to check those out. And that's about all I have as far as business. So let's turn this camera around and let's bring in fall with a fall card, but we're going to do a wrap and weave. I had seen a quilt that was pieced and it looked like a basket weave. So it was done in black and whites with a pop of color, which then had me going over to our DSP and pulling out black and white paper, and I found that I really liked the patterns on the perfectly penciled designer series paper that's in the annual catalog. So I'm using that. I did go into other packs of paper and pull colors that I wanted to accent the weave and give it that pop of fall. So I did that, and then I am using the Hello Harvest stamp set, the dies, some of the designer series paper, and then I want to show you a die that I just got. It's the Stitched with Whimsey, and what it does is it puts a stitching. It doesn't cut out the shape, but it puts the stitching down. And what I was intrigued about it was, with quilting, you know, when you give your hand off your quilt top to a long arm machinist, or even if you do your quilting by hand, you'll find that you'll pick a pattern for the borders. Your long arm quilter may customize it and put different designs in different areas. Well, this die puts a whimsical stitch all the way around the border. And I wanted to see how it would work with the pattern that we're doing today. I have found that the cardstock that we're actually going to be doing our weaving on could be just a little bit smaller so that that border on the mat really stands out. But you'll get the feel and the gist for it, and how this die set could add, if you're doing even like 2 or 3 inch quilt squares, you could put a really nice little stitched border underneath that quilt block, and it almost kind of looks like you had some custom machine quilting done to it. So I'm excited about that. So let me flip this camera back around. I think I have to go here. Nope. Go there. Go there. Okay. It's always a treat to flip that camera around. And in doing so, I'm just going to move some other things around. You all know the routine. And bring this a little forward. Let's move this here. Oh, I see. I'm a little off balance here with my... There we go. That is better. Okay. So, this is the wrap and weave card that we're going to do today. I've done it with a different color background on this one here, just to show you how different it could look. We're going to be working on white, but you could use any color cardstock to build your woven pattern on. I am sticking to the inspiration quilt that I had seen, and they used white as a background. So I just want to go with that, and then you can branch off and start looking at ways that you want to make this your own. Oh, I see a lot of people who like the fall, love fall, love fall. You know, I've always loved fall, but you know, the older I've gotten, I really like the cooler temperatures. I love summer, I really do, but I love fall more than anything. Pat misses the vivid colors, but she mainly has yellows in the aspens and birch. But yellow on birch is so pretty, Pat. Okay, so hi Susan. Hi Carol. Okay, so let's get started. This is really easy, and you can decide if you want to do any dry embossing on it once you're done. Here I did, this is a fall embossing folder, but you really couldn't see it well. This one here, I did the stitched greenery. Okay, so now I got to go back up, and so I can see if I'm in camera here. Not sure if I like the way Facebook is doing this to me. This is the stitched greenery die, and then here, this is the quatrefoil. I think you can see, I really do love this pattern. And depending on what you use, if we go back to this one, you can see that because this is a die, it really lays down your strips, and that's good, but it also, you can kind of get the 2D effect of the weaving that goes in and out. Where on an embossing folder, you can really get the feel for the weaving. Now, you could put glue dots under certain spaces to really make it lay down flat if you want to, but I like that 2D effect where you can actually see the weaving. So it's going to be totally up to you what you want to do. These were the prototypes that I made first, and then I went in and when I realized that our live was going to be on the first day of fall, it was like, oh, I got to do a fall card, and I'm really enjoying working with the Hello Harvest bundle. So I'm going to be showing you the pumpkin dies that are also embossed, and just playing with some new things that I haven't been able to play with yet. So let's get started. In the post that I made about, I didn't tell you what color to go with for the layer that's underneath your weave, and I didn't mention a specific color card base, although I'm going to be working with black and white because this actually was a black and white quilt with pops of color. But once you're done with your weave, if there's a color that is speaking to you, you might have done a Christmas one, you might have pulled different papers. Whatever color is speaking to you, pull that out and see what it looks like behind your quilt and go with that. So I didn't want to lay any specifics for you because sometimes you just need to give that quilt card time to speak to you as far as color. Okay? So let me let me show you that. This is the Stitched with Whimsey dies that I was telling you about. This large one will fit right, I mean, it's tight, but it will fit. This is a 4 by 5¼ inch piece of cardstock, and this is a size that we frequently use as a layer in our quilts or in our general card making. You can see it just fits. So if I was to do this and want to make sure that I get it on there, I would go like 4 1/8 by maybe 5 3/8 if you want to make sure that it's on there. And what I would do is, if I really wanted to see it, I would make whatever this layer is that you put on top of it, make sure that it is a little smaller than the 3 3/4 by 5 that we're using today, so that you get to see the full pattern. So I always love to find dies that actually work with the size of layers that we're used to working with when we're layering our cards. And so we got some rectangles and look, and all the squares. So this is really fun. So I wanted to play with that and put that aside. You know what? I got ahead of myself. Does anybody want to see a few Happy Mail pieces that I just got? I just glanced over and I'm like, I got to show my Happy Mail. So Doris had sent my husband and I a 25th wedding anniversary card. Tuesday was our official 25. We've been together for 36 years, but we got to like officially celebrate on Tuesday. So I want to show you this card. And it's a double easel. So this comes up and sets behind those leaves. This one sets like this, and the backing goes up to those leaves. So it's a double easel. And she's got the little lovebirds on the front. And when it folds down, here it says, wishing you a day filled with love and laughter. And when it folds up to fit in your standard envelope, it lays like this. So she's got the 2 little birds. I had never seen a double easel before. It's beautiful work, Doris. Thank you so much. We will treasure it along with our other cards that we got for our anniversary. And then Mary Weingar sent me a beautiful package. In fact, I just got it this morning. Couldn't imagine what it was, but Mary knows that I love and appreciate quilting, and I'm sure she has seen or heard me say how much I love pin cushions. So she made this pin cushion, and she's included a little quilt card with it. Isn't that adorable? So, Mary, thank you so much. I do love pin cushions. I have probably at least 25 pin cushions. I can't resist them. I can't use them all, but I also can't resist them. Handmade treasures like these are just gorgeous. So I want to thank Mary for such a sweet surprise. She even put her name on the back, just like if it was a card. So beautiful little treasure here. All the beads that are sewn on. It's quite pretty. So I just wanted to share the Happy Mail real quick. I glanced over and saw him sitting here, and normally I do that before, but Facebook has me a little discombobulated because I can't see the live the way I would normally watch it with the comments. So, hey Susan. Hi Jean. Thank you for sharing. Who else did I see? I think, hi Patricia. How's my Hoosier? Okay, so let's get back to today's project. Let's get back on track, Julie. Get back on track. I have... Okay, that's what I was looking for. I wanted my silicone mat because of the glue. So here is the 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece that we're going to do our weaving on. And I've got 4 strips that measure a quarter of an inch by 6. So this is a good thing to get out those 6-inch pieces of designer series paper, or get into your scraps. And I've got 4 colors, but I cut 2 strips of each color. Okay, now I got to get back up here, make sure I'm in camera. I really don't like the way I have to view this live. It's just hard to get used to. Okay, and so then as far as my black and whites, black and white and shades of gray, I've got 3 black and grays, and then I've got 3 that are mainly white with, shades with a splash of black or a splash of gray. And this is to add contrast, okay? So the first thing that I like to do, where's my pencil? I'm going to need a pencil. Is I like to lay out a pattern that I like. These can just move over to the side right now. So I don't want all my whites together. I want to mix it up a little bit. So, and I want there to be contrast. So if something is really white, I want something really dark next to it for the contrast. And then we'll use shades of the gray to kind of blend it all in. So just get a pattern that you like. And once you've got that pattern, I'm going to take this off the silicone mat for just a moment because I'm going to use the grid lines on my paper to help keep me straight. And I like this design, so I'm going to pull the strips off in the order that I want to put them. And just put them off to the side here. I'm going to start with this piece here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my grid paper. I'm going to get the top of my cardstock lined up with a straight line on my grid paper. And each one of these little squares on your grid paper, the Stampin' Up! Grid paper and the other grid papers that I use that I can find at the store, these are a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to come down a 1/4 of an inch. And it's kind of hard for me to see up this far the position that my phone is in. But so I'm just going to, it looks like I'm at a 1/4 of an inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little pencil line using the top of my strip of DSP and the bottom so that I know I'm going to fit it right in there. I'm going to do that to the bottom one. I'm going to come up just 1/4 of an inch. You can definitely eyeball this, everyone. It does not have to be hard, but I struggle with being straight a lot of times, so this just helps me feel a little bit more confident that I'm going to be straight. So I've got some pencil marks there. Now the rest of it is just putting your pieces back down and getting some even spacing in between the 4 strips that go in the middle. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So that looks pretty good to me. Now the only thing that I want to do is make sure that my lines are straight. So I'm just going to use that line there and just make a couple of little lines, and then I'll move this one down, and I have to move my paper as I go along. But just make yourself some marks so that you know where that piece should be. And you can always adjust it if you don't like where that piece falls. But this just helps me get going. Okay, so I'm going to bring those pieces off again. Now I'm going to be using liquid glue. You can use whatever adhesive that you like. I'm using the liquid glue in case I need to reposition. So here I'm going to put that strip right in between those 2 lines. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this end around to the back. So this is where the wrapping comes in to the wrap and weave. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to apply a little bit of glue to the back. I didn't want the lid in there. Why did I do that? And put it back there. Put it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a grid line and just make sure that I'm following it straight and that it falls on the same line up here. And you don't want to pull it too tight. And I'm going to crease it there. See, we've got room underneath here to do our weave. And then put some glue there. So this is what you're going to do with your 6 strips of black and whites. So here I'm going to put this there. I'm going to fold that. Put a little bit of glue. And then line it up. Find a square or a line that will keep me straight up here. And then I can fold that over. Put a little bit of glue and put that down. So we're just going to keep going like that. I'll be anxious to see what papers that you choose and what colors you go with, because this is fall. Somebody might decide to go with Christmas or, you know, something else out of your stash. So I'm anxious to see what everybody does. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to enter all the names on the wheel and change the cover photo for the group. I'm going to have to do that when we're done. Weren't there some beautiful, every single card that was shared from last week's live? Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful cards. And I learned so much from all the designs that were shared of things that I had never even thought about doing with that layout. So I was so inspired by the cards that were shared from everyone. Thank you for participating and sharing your creations with all of us in the group. I'm sure I wasn't the only one inspired by what you did. So let's put this one here. Again, those lines on the front were just to, you know, help me along in making sure that my strips weren't like going on a diagonal, because once you follow one piece that wasn't straight, chances are your whole piece is then not going to be straight. No different than in quilting. And then let's put that there to make sure that that's on the 1/4 inch. Flip it. What I love about this, I like, if I remember to, is I like to wrap my strips around to the back instead of like putting it to the end and then cutting it off. For me, the wrap just gives it a really nice finish instead of seeing all your ends cut with scissors. So I really like the wrapped look. And now you can see we've got our horizontal strips. Now we're going to come in with our color. And I'm just going to put these colors next to each other. And I think I'll start with the pool party. And you're just going to weave your papers up and under. Lay it horizontally if that works better. And what we just want to do right now is just get them in there. So we started under here. So this one's going to go over. Just get them in there. We can slide them around and get them where we want them once we've got them all in. Let's go with this one. So we want to go under. And this one will be over. And then let's put this one here. So under, over, under, and over. Sometimes you just got to grab that tail, coax it to where you want it. Now, if you want more colors, if you want a tighter weave, then you would add more of the 1/4 inch strips. I'm kind of keeping mine loose so that I can see that white background. Again, I'm trying to stay true to the quilt pattern that I had seen since it was my inspiration. But if you want all of this tighter and you want more color, then you just add more 1/4 inch strips, because you can see that you've got room there to add more. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to position. I want to see, my personal preference is, I'm going to see a small window of white in between my two same colors. Okay, that's just how I've been doing it. You can space these as far apart or as close as you want. But once I've got them where I like them, then I'm just going to fold these two ends back and put a little bit of glue. So we're just wrapping these smaller strips now. we're just wrapping them. I should really bring in, well, I need my lines, so. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all across the top here. Do them first, and then I'll flip it over and fold the other ends back. And now we're on to this green. And our last color is this Cajun Craze. Honestly, this designer series paper here is the only one from, no, the Cajun Craze. No, I've got more papers that are from the, no, I don't. This is the only one from the Hello Harvest, or the Harvest Designer Series paper. The black and whites are from the Perfectly Penciled. And these three colors here are from the Hostess pack of DSP. Because I just liked the colors, so. What's fun about this is you can go in and pull out your scraps and use up scraps, or you can stay with the collection and do it that way. So now we're going to rotate it around, and I just want to make sure that my strips are pretty straight. We could just fold these back and then flip it over and glue all these little tabs down. Come on, stay down there. Let's make sure. Okay, they look pretty good. Come on, stay down there. And this one here, I just want to check on. There we go. So now we've done all of our wrapping. And you have your weave. Now, running this through an embossing folder will help lay the papers down. Running it through the die, the Stitch Greenery die, will really help lay it down. But I'm not going to run this one through, but this is pretty lofty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my, get some glue dots. What do I do with them? And I'm just going to, like, sporadically, I'm just going to lift a glue dot. And I'm just going to sneak it, whoops, underneath. And I'm just going to do that in certain spots just to help it lay down, because I still want the 2D effect of the weave. And even if you run it through an embossing folder or the Stitch Greenery die, you can kind of roll the quilt pattern here and it'll pop your woven pieces up so that you still get that feel. Let's stick you underneath there. Whoops, get underneath there. My focal point could hide that there. There we go. I'm going to get that underneath there a little bit better. There we go. And remember, you're going to be putting a focal image down, and that will help lay it down too. So just, you know, if you roll it like this, you can get your little woven pieces to pop, and you'll get that rippled effect of the weave. So just play with it. Again, if you think that it's too lofty in a certain area, just sneak a glue dot underneath there. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to choose not to do any embossing folder or the Stitch Greenery die because I haven't done one just as it is, and I want to see how this turns out. So we're going to play. So now let's set this aside for a moment. Now, I'm taking the risk that I'm going to like this pool party as my background. I've already done the other cards. This is a black or a white card base with the black layer. Okay. And then this was a black card base with the white layer. It would be white on white. So it's just whatever you're looking for. But I'm going to branch out here and I'm going to put a pool party card base. And this is one of the, this is a layer that I used the Stitched with Whimsey die on. So I'm going to lay that down. I'm kind of winging this part. I didn't do it ahead of time to see if I was going to like what it looked like, but that's okay. If you want to give your card even more of a 2D effect, I popped up my quilt pattern to give it some more dimension on a couple of the cards that I did ahead of time. And it really did help let you see this border right here. But I'm just going to keep things flat because let me show you this one. This one's got a lot of layers. I popped up the quilt pattern. I don't know if you can see that. And then I did all this popping up with my focal image. In fact, there's like double dimensionals on top of each other in order to get this to stay down. This definitely would require extra postage. I'm going to just try and keep this one that we're working on a little flatter. But you can go to town and do as much as you want to your woven quilt. So this will go on here. Now this is, I got to remember this, I'm going to do this in portrait mode. And what I'm going to keep in mind, because my pumpkin is Cajun Craze and I use Cajun Craze here, I'm going to want to keep this away from that color so it doesn't get lost in it. So I can do this or I can flip it around depending on what side I want my pumpkin. Now I've been doing a lot of my cards where the pumpkin, for whatever reason, is on the left. I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to put the pumpkin on the right. So I need to flip this around. So now I can put this down. And if you wanted to give your card more dimension, instead of using glue on the back, you can use dimensionals. This will be both ways that I've done it. And then we just want to center that. Put it down. I kind of like the pool party as the card base because it adds another layer of color to the card. I like the black and white, but this really does add that pop of color as a border. So I think I'm going to like this. I think I'm going to like it. So let's set this aside and let's build our focal image, okay? So the dies that go with the Hello Harvest, there's 2 pumpkin dies, but this these two pieces here are actually embossed. I hope that you can see that. Maybe if I tilt it this way a little bit or back. But these are embossed. It's really, really beautiful. And so this centerpiece, I put some dimensionals on. And I'm going to layer this right on top. Okay, so gives me some dimension to the pumpkin. This is the stem die, and I am going to take a glue dot and put that on the back. Let me find my glue dots here. Where am I? Put a glue dot there, and then center my stem of my pumpkin. So I got my stem. And then in the dies, you get 3 different vines. So I just chose one of them, and I am going to put just the smallest amount of glue right there. And I'm just going to attach that. Like so. Okay. And I stamped, and then I cut the sentiment, which I love. I just love this banner. And I am going to set that on my pumpkin. So let's play with this a little bit as far as placement, because I need to know where. I don't want my banner going off of there, so I need to know where I want to set it. And you know what? I might want to flip this and just do a landscape. No, we can make this work. And it's still off center to the left. In fact, I could move my banner over. It doesn't have to be totally centered. But what I'm going to do to attach my banner is I'm going to take a dimensional. In fact, I'm going to use these that are right on the outside. They're not totally a full dimensional. And that should cover it, yeah. I'm going to lay one on, oh no, stretch, down, 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 down. You haven't done this in a long time. And put another one over here. And then I'm just going to lay this across it, and this will hold it for me. I think I want to off-center it just a little bit. No, I'm going to center it. I just like it better like that. And then push it down. And I think I am going to turn my card, and I think I am going to go landscape, because I can see more. It just feels like I can see more of the weave this way. But I've been tending to put everything to the left, so I'm going to go to the right here. I'm going to let the tail of my banner go off of outside of the border there. Now, that's where I would place it if that's the only thing I was going to put on the card. I need your help. Do you like the flowers being tucked in the banner? Or do you think it gets lost in the colors behind it? I've been going back and forth with this. At first, I thought it was too busy, but then when I walked away from my table, oh my goodness, hold on, I just ruined my lighting. When I walked away from the table and came back later and looked at it from a distance, I kind of liked the flowers. So what do you think? Do you like the flowers, or do you think we should just put the pumpkin on, add the bling, and then, hey, Holly, the flowers get lost? I was thinking the same thing, Marilyn. They would work really nicely if I didn't have all these different colors, so that they would pop. But, you know, from a distance, it works, but I just don't know. So, Holly likes the flowers. Well, you know, I did do cards with and without the flowers, so it's totally going to be a preference thing. But if I wanted to use the flowers, what I can do is, before I put this down, do I want to tuck... You can tuck this behind. Stretch, honey. Why are you being so needy? Mommy can't hold you right now. I'm creating with all my friends. Okay, so you could tuck it behind there, take a glue dot, attach it to your label, but because I've used dimensionals, I had to double up my dimensionals so that this all laid flat. But you could definitely tuck in the flowers and then put it on there. Just make sure that, you know, your focal point isn't going past your card. You want it to fit in the envelope. So I could do that. If this is just a matter of preference. So I don't know. I think I need to think about it. But what I can do right now, while I'm thinking about it, to finish it off, I am going to add some rhinestones. These are the clear rhinestones, but I used the black Stampin' Blend, and I colored them. And so I'm going to add these 3 rhinestones. You can see I do a lot of coloring with my rhinestones. And I'm just going to put one right there. And then I'm going to put a couple over here, working in 3s. So this isn't down yet because I just need to look at it a little bit more. But I think that the rhinestones add a really nice little pop without this getting so busy that you're losing the weave. And it just gives a little sparkle. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like a black rhinestone. They are beautiful. And, you know, I can still see my dimension with my weave up there. It's going in and out. I did use some glue dots to help keep it down in certain spots. And that really helps pop out the weave. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to finish this yet. With the flower, without the flower, I can move it over to the right some more. And I do love the simplicity of just the pumpkin. This looks clean. So I'm just going to have to look at it some more before I finish it off. I don't want to rush it. So I am going to let this talk to me for a while, and then I'll finish it off. So let's just bring in all the cards again. And here's like the side by side with the flowers without. And again, these were the prototypes that I had first done using just a black silhouetted focal, well, an embellishment to the focal image, which would be the label. So you can just get the feel of what things look like by changing the background or just letting the card base be your pop. And you know, you would want to, or I would want to finish off the backs with a 4 by 5¼ piece of designer series paper, something from what I used in the quilt card. I haven't decided on which ones I want to use that yet. And then you're going to want to put an insert on the inside. Those are still elements that I'm deciding on. So that is today's quilt card. Again, it was inspired by a black and white pieced quilt that had, she used orange and purples, I believe, as her pops of color in the weave there. And I just, you know, turned this into a fall card using the fall products. And this is what I got. So I hope that you like it. I hope that you will give it a try. This weekend I'll have the PDF ready. Things have been a little busy around here, so Lori says try peeking them out from behind the pumpkin. Okay, Lori, let's see. Peeking out from behind the pumpkin? Like that? At first I tried to put them on top of the pumpkin, but then I kind of got, the stem got lost and I didn't know if anybody would realize that that's a pumpkin. But tucked behind. Now they're on this side. I like it tucked behind. Thank you for the suggestion, Lori. There's so many things that could be done with this flower topper. I'll have to play with that some more, but thank you for the suggestion. It has me thinking now. The flowers hide the pumpkin. So, you know, it's all personal preference. Again, before I would actually glue it down, I would set it up, walk away, see if when I come back in a couple of hours, does it still speak to me? If not, then I would forego it. And yeah, Holly, the yellow does add another pop of fall color. See, that's why I can't decide. I like that pop of color, and it could all come down to the colors that I chose. I don't know. It's just going to have to talk to me some more. So, you know, you just got to try. Doris says no flowers, they get lost with the stripes. And that was one of my concerns. So, I like that everybody's got, maybe put the flowers inside. Linda, that's a really good suggestion when you want to finish off your card. Put your insert, maybe put the flowers inside. That is a really pretty suggestion too. Okay, so Marilyn's like, okay, I love them all. I changed my mind with flowers. See, there's just so many variations. And Susan, I'm glad you like this card. They would make really pretty Christmas cards, Sharon. Yes, they would. So I'm hoping that I see some Christmas cards shared. Top left corner. See, there's so many options, everybody. This is going to be so much fun. You know what? I'm just going to have to make more and take every suggestion and do it. And then that way I have a nice little set of cards that I could gift to someone. So thank you so much for all the feedback. That is so much fun when we can brainstorm the cards together. And, you know, like I said earlier, with the cards that were shared from last week's live, there were so many, I took so much inspiration from every single card, something that I hadn't thought about. And it was just like explosion. It's like, I need to start writing all of these ideas down because I'm going to forget some of them because my mind seemed to be like an overload. And so I can't wait to see what you do and share with this layout. Color will make a total difference. And it's just so nice to see the variations because one person alone can't think of everything to share. And so that's what I love about the group, that as a whole, we see things differently and we share our take on a design, and then it sparks all these different ideas, you know, and it just goes nuts, and I love it. So thank you so much for spending Thursday with me this morning. And again, like I said, I cannot wait to see what you do. I also will be updating the group cover because I forgot to do that last night. So there will be a new cover photo for the group. And yeah, I just cannot wait to see what you all do because this is such a creative group. So have a blessed rest of your day. If you have any questions about anything, reach out to me. I try to be very quick in a response back. And yeah, I appreciate every single one of you for spending your time with me, and happy creating today.